Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to Does Boxing. Back again with another one. We got the WBO rankings this time right here. For the month of July. They just came out, so we're gonna cover those. You can find these rankings on their website, WBO.com. So that's what we're gonna reference this from. Salute to everybody coming through the building. Make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe for sure. But we're gonna get it straight into it. Some good stuff. I had a chance to look at it. It's some good stuff in here. And we'll see if we can find some future matchups and see what's next for a lot of these fighters. Um, Heavyweight division, we're gonna start there. So Daniel Dubois is the WBO champion. He had that fun fight with Fabio Wally to take the belt off of him to become two-time heavyweight champ. Some people say three because he won the WBA regular, but it depends on where you at. So right now, him and Fabio Wally. Fabio Wally got a rematch clause, so we're trying to see when he's going to execute it, when they're going to put that fight on. I know Fabio needs some time out the ring because he took a lot of punishment, and we'll see. The mandatory is Moses Otama. Moses has a lot of options. He can go the IBF route. They order him versus Frank Sanchez. He got a fight coming up with Herkovic, so Moses pretty much going to be fighting for a world title in his next couple of fights. You know what I'm saying? He got Phillip, who been around for a long time. They're going to fight August 29th. Now, I know the IBF ordered him and Sanchez. As of now, as of this video right now, they haven't pulled out of the fight. And we like 2 months away, under 2 months away. And those guys already did a press conference and all that shit. And it's on pay-per-view. So I'm not sure if they're going to postpone or cancel that fight. You know what I'm saying? Even with the title on the line, I don't know if they're going to do that unless they ask the IBF to wait. But then again, Frank Sanchez is going to have to wait an extra 2 months, probably even longer than that, because you got 2 months before the fight. Then you got to do negotiations and all that. That's 30 days. Then you're gonna have like two more months for training camp. So if they do fight, it might not even be until 2027. You know what I'm saying? So we'll have to see. I'm thinking Frank Sanchez team want to get that fight, want to fight for the vacant title as soon as possible. So they'll go down the list. If Moses is unavailable, cool. Right after Moses in the IBF rankings is Herkovic. So they'll just go down the line until they get to somebody that want to accept it, and that way Sanchez can win the world title as quick as possible instead of waiting. He wait for Atama, he might not get it until the top of the year. That's crazy. That like more than 6 months after Usyk vacated. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. Fitz Nunez in the building. What's good, bro? Good morning. Salute to you. So that's an ongoing situation right there with Otama, Herkovic, uh, Frank Sanchez, and all that. AJ and Fury, those guys supposed to fight at the end of the year. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can't do it no more. I was one of those. Salute to him. He came back, got his knee back together, looked real strong in that fight with Torres. Look like everything is clicking with him and Eddie Reynoso. So yeah, Frank. Yeah, we gotta pay attention. We gotta tap in with Frank now. So AJ and Fury, they're gonna have tune-up fights coming up. So hopefully they can fight at the end of the year, get it over with. Haven't heard much from Joe Parker. He tested positive for cocaine, so I'm not sure how long his suspension. Zane is another one. Haven't seen Zane. Joe is high enough in the IBF rankings where guys in front of him got other shit going on. It could be Frank Sanchez versus Joe for the vacant IBF. And that would be interesting for Frank because he'll be fighting back-to-back Olympic medalists. You know what I'm saying? The silver medalist and Torres and the guy that beat him for the gold, Joe Hakan in the building. What's good? Salute to you, bro. Good morning. Salute. Yes, sir. Early morning on the West Coast. It's all good. Wilder, I know he was nursing an injury, a hand or arm injury, one of the two. Hopefully Jared Anderson can get back. I know he had to pull out his fight. Maybe they can reschedule his fight with Saul Dakers. You know what I'm saying? Queensberry debut. Frank Sanchez, Nelson Heisa, number 12. He was on the short list to get the Fury fight, but that didn't happen. So yeah, that's what's up. Probably, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm messing with Tyson Fury, one of the two. Cruiserweight, David Benavidez is unified. He has a three-belt unification on the horizon with Noel McCallan. So it looked like he's gonna stay at cruiserweight. Maybe he still hold titles at light heavyweight, but it's gonna come a time. Yeah, it's gonna come a time where he gonna have to make a decision. Ramon Freeze is his WBO mandatory per se. We'll have to see if he campaign and stay at cruiserweight for a while. But David is one of the best fighters right now, most exciting as well. Robin Safar, there goes Zerto. Safar is with Golden Boy. He won the WBC silver. Chris Billum Smith, he had a fun fight with Rosiski. I'm suspecting it's gonna be CBS versus Obataya, Zuffa boxing type shit. David Naika, he's fighting. I forget the day. I want to say August the 8th. He's fighting the IBF eliminator, and the winner has to fight Vidal Riley for the vacant IBF. So yeah, still some stuff to kind of figure out with the IBF for the vacant title. Leonard Perez, he got a fight coming up September 6th. He's facing a South African fighter, Minsu. The dude been around for a long time. The Rock, I think that's what they call him. Vidal Riley's supposed to fight in September for the European title. I haven't heard much on that, but that was just speculation. So yeah, that's what it is, man. At the top, we can eventually get Benavidez and Obataya. That's the goal right there. You know what I'm saying? Figure out the politics, Zuffa boxing, and all that shit. That's the fight we need. That's one of the best fights to be made in boxing. Benavidez and Obataya. Yeah, that's dope. Light heavyweight, Dimitri Bivol is a unified champion, WBO, IBF, and WBA. So he made his IBF mandatory defense at the end of May. He looked pretty solid. He dropped the guy with a nice left hook. Then he cruised to a unanimous decision, easy money. But he hurt his elbow in that fight, and now he's looking to have surgery. In that fight, the WBO title wasn't on the line because of what's going on in Russia and Ukraine, so they didn't want to represent that. So now he's been ordered to fight Callum Smith. He dropped a medical exemption, going to get some cleanup in his elbow, and then he's supposed to fight Callum Smith. That's the word when he come back. Callum Smith is nursing. He was going through a rib injury, getting ready for the Morrell fight, so they had him out for a while. So maybe that's a good fight too. I ain't mad at it. I much rather see Bivol and Benavidez, but it looks like they not on the same path right now. So it is what it is. Um, Vidal, okay, yeah, okay, yeah. That's early September, mid September. I heard that fight was coming though, so yeah, cool. Uh, we haven't heard much from Arthur Beterbiev. Joshua Bowaxi, I think Bowaxi would be a perfect opponent for Ben Whitaker. Ben Whitaker moved up 5 spots. He's at number 8 with his performance over the weekend. Willie Hutchinson is a good fighter. Hot Rod Kalaja is likely to fight for the Zuffa belt, probably against Desmeskov, the kid who had that crazy uppercut knockout. So that's a good fight. Bivol stands to be on the street. Yeah, bro. Yeah, wear and tear, huh? He just had back surgery last year. Yeah, bro. Hopefully that's not the shit. He's a little older. He been around for a while, so maybe that's what it is. His body started to break down. These training camps, bro. Still in negotiation. Okay, cool. EBU. What else we got? Let me see. Connor Wallace, his name been linked with Ben Whitaker. That could be like an IBF eliminator. Zach Chelly coming off a big knockout win over David Morrell. Zach Parker, yeah, get him back in the mix. Nigel Lopez got a good fight coming up with Juan Carrillo. That's a good one. That's Pro Box August 29th. That's a good fight. Bruce Gas in the building. What's good? What's good with you? Yes, sir. In the morning, yeah. Bruce in the building. 168. Hamza Shiraz is the WBO champion. He's been granted a voluntary defense. He don't have a mandatory due. We see number one is Canelo. He's gonna fight in Billy. Number two is Jacob Bank. He also won eliminated with the WBC. Jacob Bank is pretty good. I like him. He's pretty good. He got two good wins this year. He stopped uh William Skull. He stopped him in January. Then he stopped the not South African, the African fighter from Namibia. He stopped him too. So Jacob Bank and Hamza Shiraz are promotional stablemates with Gold Star. So could be an easier fight to make. Depends on how it works. But he's a good fighter. He can go the WBC route too. So Shiraz don't have a mandatory as of yet. It could be Pacheco. Pacheco could be back in that mix after he get his one fight in with Buddy McGirt. He turned down the vacant WBO opportunity to face Shiraz. So maybe he'll feel more confident after the fight he has in a couple of weeks against Emmanuel Alim. So we'll see. We'll see. Kevin Sajo is fighting on Saturday. This is fourth fight since losing to Pacheco in December. Pacheco, he'll be fighting for the first time in a couple of weeks. Sajo was like, nah, I'm not sitting back waiting. We're going to fight. We're going to stay active. That's dope. That's why I'm kind of hoping Shiraz pick Kevin Sajo. Back to Shiraz, though. He supposed to fight on July 25th. Yo, that's 3 weeks away, ain't it? You know what I'm saying? He supposed to fight on the AJ card. So I'm not sure how that's going to work. Maybe they push him back to the Moses undercard. I can see that, but yeah, bro. I like Hamza, man. Dangerous guy. Yeah, Hamza is nice coming to his own. He's in there. Um, you know, iron sharpen iron. He's in there with Ben Whitaker. You know what I'm saying? He's in there with Patty Donovan. Um, Andy Lee got a solid stable of guys. Before Parker got stopped by Worley, he was on a nice little run. So that's what's up. So they got Resendez in there, but I'm not sure. Beck the Bully is the WBA mandatory. He should be getting Mangia. Simon Zuckerhammer. So he just had a little 6 round. Oh no, he had a win over the weekend. Now he lost a 6 round fight on the Ben and Eubank rematch undercard, but they didn't remove him from the rankings. So it's where it is. He may get the Hamza Shiraz fight. I don't know. Troy Williamson going to run it back with Callum Simpson. That's coming up. I forgot the day. I think August 8th. August. But yeah, they're going to do that rematch, and that's going to be on the Zone. Boxer signed a deal with the Zone. Herbert Conceal, he's fighting one of the Pro Box days. Either on August 29th or September the 11th. I saw that. Edgar Berlanga, he going to have a fun fight with Stephen Butler. That's going to be fun. That's due for boxing on July 28th. Yeah, and Wilkins Matthew is pretty good, young guy. Had a good win against Falcao. 160, Janabek is still the WBO champion. The IBF stripped him. He's still suspended by the WBO. He's supposed to come back. His suspension is lifted in December, and he's supposed to fight Denzel Bentley, the interim champion. So it was word that maybe Janabek may get that suspension reduced and maybe come back sooner, but I haven't heard much word. Yo-Yo Hernandez is supposed to fight the winner. You know what I'm saying? He's number one. It was talks about him maybe fighting Denzel Bentley. Bentley might just sit on the interim title until he fight Janabek. So it's a lot of waiting and see. They should have just stripped Janabek. Like real talk. So we don't know. But I want to see how he look coming back because a lot of guys that test positive, after they test positive and come back and get cleared, they don't look the same. Conor Ben. Look at Conor Ben. I don't even know if he scored a knockdown since he came back. Has he? Has this dude scored a knockdown since he tested positive for Ben? Yes, he did. The second fight against Eubank. That was the only one. So, and that was how many rounds he fought? He fought a bunch of rounds and only scored like one knockdown. Um, maybe two, and I can't remember. So you got Yo-Yo number one. Yo-Yo is number one in the WBA. I think he should pursue the Lara fight because this right here seems like a lot of drama. He should go after Lara. Put the Cuban shit aside. You know what I'm saying? Like they tell us, fight each other. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't friends. Y'all ain't brothers, fake brothers. Nah, yo, go fight the old man. He should be able to beat Lara at this stage of his career. Vito is number two. Vito, Vito been to every promotion company basically. PBC, Top Rank, Samson Boxing. He did some work with Pro Box. Now he's with Matchroom, signed a 3-fight deal. He's gonna come back September the 4th. He's facing Ammo, that's a good fight. That's not a bad fight. Ammo is basically, you know, he given a lot of opportunities, but this may be one of his last because the Adamas fight, I think that took a lot out of him. You know what I'm saying? He gave a good effort, but Adamas dominated. So maybe he's at a certain level. I mean, he got stopped by Shiraz and he got stopped by Adamas. So those is pretty much as like I guess you can say elite fighters or the top tier. So maybe he can get with Vito. Because Vito, Vito is good. He improving, but he's still kind of just, nothing to go crazy over. That's a good fight. Fedor Shakazier, he's number three from Poland. He's not bad. Zarafa, Zarafa, he keep having high rankings. Somebody need to pull his card and fight him. Shane Mosley, Zuffa Boxing. Let's see what he does. I like the Kakarakis fight. If he can't get Callum Wash, who is fighting Tyler Denny on August the 8th. So yeah, for Zuffa Boxing, lightweight and middleweight is their best division. They more invested in there with those two divisions. They can actually do a Zuffa champion and lightweight and middleweight. Conor Ben, likely we'll hear some news about Conor Ben fighting Ryan Garcia September 12th. Jahad Tucker moved up 5 spots after beating Yuri Sadeo. Good win. Let's get him. Yeah, Tony Hirsch. Salute to him. Yep, was good. Salute to him. Crazy knockout win. 2 good wins in a row. Bring him back. Shoot, have him fight. Who just fought at lightweight? He got to get in the mix. Well, I don't know if they ready to put him in that mix yet with them top guys. Shit, give him De Los Santos. When De Los Santos come back, give him him. The word is out on him. He ain't taking punches like that, so give it to him. No, I think it's one. I think he just outclassed Merriweather, beat him pretty clear. But that first one, the shit he did on Sunday probably count for 2. That was crazy. That was nice. So salute to him, bro. Yes, sir. That's good. Good stuff. Jahad Tucker. Let's see. I think it's time. I think the way the middleweight division is, Jahad Tucker fits in. Lara O, Janabek on PEDs. Adama's looking like he's going to lead the division and go holler at Iglesias. So there's a lot of young guys in this division that can kind of get in the mix. I see George Zadar down up in there. You got Amari Jones with an A. He's nice. Jahad Tucker as well. He a dog. Yo-Yo Hernandez. So it's like a passing of the guard type shit in this division. And I like it. It's good. George Ladar supposed to fight. Damn, the Frenchman. That's a tough fight. Yeah, I forget his name right now, but that dude That's a tough fight. He said, "Nah, I just won." Yeah, yeah, yeah. But that second one was crazy. Salute to him. All right, 154. We got unified champion Jerron Bruce Ennis, a new unified champion. Yeah, both was undefeated. And the last guy, he was an underdog and did like the same shit that Tony did. Upset win. Boots is a new unified champion. Had a fun fight with Xander. Stopped him in the seventh. Yeah, and Xander has a rematch clause. He has a couple of weeks to decide. But I think Xander's going to 60, and you'll see where he'll fit in at as you look at it in the middleweight division. He can probably go right to the top. The way his relationship is with the WBO, and the way how middleweight division is kind of slim. So yeah, bro, that it's what it is. What it is. People say he quit. You know what I'm saying? They ain't the only one. Ain't gonna be the last one. Whatever you want to call it, he won't gonna win that fight. You know what I'm saying? So save his ass for another day. That's what's up. That's a smart knee, because he was getting them beat. He was getting them paws put on him. So Xander can come back though. He gotta have the right game plan though. That shit he was doing was crazy. Israel Majimov, that's a nice little ranking. Hold on, let me go back. Tim Zoo is number one. Tim Zoo been number two in the WBO rankings for the last couple of months. So naturally, when Boots was number one, he fought Xander. He beat him, so he just moved up. That's all that was. So, I mean, Tim Zoo, he's on the winning streak. He got a big fight coming up with Earl Spence. So let's see. They fighting at like 158. So that's cool. Majimov. Now Majimov is the guy that may get the Jerron Boots in this fight if Boots don't get a big fight, unification or a big name. He's high enough in the rankings and then that's a storyline. The never ending storyline with a fake Crawford and Ennis fight. Jones will get Xander all. Which you talking about, Amari Jones? Yes, he will. Yes, he would. Amari Jones, I'm high on him. He's nice. He's gonna win the world title. Whoever wins between McKenna and the other guy, he gonna get that for sure. Um, yeah, Majimov from being in the mix. He said, "Yep, yep." Amari Jones like that. Yep. Um, Bachram. So there's some news on Bachram. Bachram and his team won the purse bid to fight Brandon Adams in Russia. Team Adams didn't want to go over there due to the conflict, Russia, Ukraine, and the drones over there going crazy. So they forego that. They bypass that. So Bachram is in a position where he can just tell the IBF, "Yo, I want to be mandatory." Since two guys turned me down, Kevin Ajako turned it down. Now he's about to fight Josh Kelly, July 25th on AJ's card. Now you got the second guy turned it down with Brandon Adams. So Bachman could be the mandatory, and that could fuck up some shit with Boots and Josh Kelly. That's why That's why I be trying to put out. I'm trying to like I don't know. They listen. They see my shit on X. A lot of people pay attention to my shit for real. Because I mentioned something about Teofimo and Rolly last Saturday during the fights, and then next thing you know, they announced the fight. You know what I'm saying? Like real talk. Nobody was talking about the date, and everybody was saying August 15th. I figured out it was August 22nd, and we ran with it. And then they piggyback off that shit. They can have it. I don't be caring if people take my news as long as you put it out correctly. We good. We passed that already. But Bachman, no, we'll go back to the IBF and Josh Kelly. Josh Kelly, Matchroom, all those guys, they need to go to the IBF right now and say, look, we're working on a big time unification with the winner of Ajaku and Josh Kelly, and the winner is going to fight Boots. We're going to go ahead and put that in writing. That way, Bachram, his mandatory position may have to wait until after that. So you can do exceptions and mandatories. I mean, unification does trump mandatories. They only trump mandatories when the promoter do their due diligence and read the rules and go get the exemption beforehand. They don't just trump them automatically, especially with the IBF. The IBF, once they order a fight, that shit's ordered for sure. That's your next fight. But right now, One that makes sense to just go straight to the IBF and say, look, we plan on doing a boost fight unification in the fall. So can we get the exemption right now? But I don't think these promoters be reading the rules. They right there. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. Nikita Zoo, he might have a eliminator coming up. I think Ben Mahoney or somebody. No, AJ. Oh, he said okay. He said, "Bro, is AJ win? Will he be ranked?" I think so. Yeah, I think it would. You think they'll push for boots? Nah. I think if Spence wins, I think the Charlo fight might be viable, or even the Fundora fight. We'll see. That they'll be on that PBC shit, but I don't know if he's I don't know if he'll take that boots fight. You know, depending on how good he look, people gonna be calling for it. Nikita Zoo, he gonna be close to a world title shot too, but I think he's gonna do an IBF eliminator. Oh, he's trying to. Abaz Baru versus Giovanni Santillan. That's September. That's not a bad fight. Rashidi Ellis, he's on the TCL shit. Charles Conwell. So this is interesting. Charles Conwell is a new entry. He hasn't been ranked by the WBO since he lost that fight against Garcia. That's been over a year. Now all of a sudden he pop into the new ranking. So that's tell you guys that he got a fight coming up. And what I'm hearing, he's gonna fight August the 1st on the Roach and Zepeda undercard. So let's see who they give him. I mean, we always root for Charles Conwell because he got like a hard luck story and shit, but he's been inactive, bro. We ain't seen him in a long time. I know he's in Vegas right now sparring Jen Sasaki, and he was in Devin Haney's camp, so he probably in good shape. But we gotta get him back in the mix for sure. All right, we're moving down welterweight. So Devin Haney is a WBO champion. We know he just got ordered to fight Keyshawn Davis. I love that fight. I think that's a good fight right there. It's gonna get promoted real well. I hope they get enough respect, or I hope it can do good business. You know what I'm saying? But from when I'm looking at it, I think it makes sense in only two places: Norfolk, Virginia, or Oakland, California. So let's see. They got 20 days to negotiate. Probably down to about 17 days now. We'll see. I'm thinking a Ring magazine card. I feel like this could be his own headliner, but I won't be surprised if they do this on the undercard of Garcia and Conor Ben. I wouldn't be surprised. It's not like the first time that happened. The Haney fought on Ryan's undercard. But that's a good fight. I think it's gonna be more it's more entertaining fight for me than the Devin and Shakur fight, to be honest. And I think Devin will get more credit. Well, he'll get credit for this. I think Keyshawn is like that. Keyshawn, he's gonna come. So I like this fight. Hopefully it happens. Uh, Brian Norman jumped up 3 spots. He was number 5 last month. Now he's number 2. So there you go. If Devin Haney don't fight Keyshawn and vacate the title or get stripped, Keyshawn versus Brian Norman for the vacant WBO. Perfect. I take it too. We know Teofimo is facing Rolly August 22nd. Pacquiao, they dropped Pacquiao too. They dropped Barbosa too. So Barbosa versus Rocha makes sense to me. That's an in-house Golden Boy fight. Or Barbosa versus Courier makes sense. I know they both of those guys trying to uh, get the Ryan Garcia fight, but shit, they might as well fight each other. Look, fight each other on the undercard of Ryan versus Conor Ben. That makes sense to me. But I like Courier, so yeah, they got Giovanni Santillan back at welterweight. But he's gonna fight Baru, look like. So maybe they adjust that. Tiger Johnson, he gonna fight the undefeated Christopher Guerrero coming up this weekend on the Mason Bell card. Carlos Salas, he's got Hitchens. So we're gonna see how Hitchens look at the new weight class. Patty Donovan is the IBF mandatory for Leon Paro. It's not next, so Paro is on a voluntary stage. He can unify or get a big fight. Uh, Paro may get the Pacquiao fight. That's crazy. Ursay, he had a fight coming up too. I seen that shit, but I forgot. I think he's with Queensberry and standing on this, bro. Let's get him in the mix. Get him back in the mix. He's still a big name in the welterweight division. Or maybe he should just go to 54. 140. Shakur Stevenson is the WBO champion. He don't have a mandatory yet, but look at Vargas. Emiliano is number 1 now. He was number 2 last month. He jumped Landolfo. Landolfo is the IBF mandatory. He gonna fight for the vacant IBF. But by the time he get back in the ring, he'll be out for a year. So Emiliano, I think he gonna be Shakur's mandatory. Shit, let's get it. I don't care if he's not ready or not. I feel like this: if these guys are pushing the sanction bodies and following their rules to get in position to fight the champion, then I'm not babysitting them, bro. I don't care if you're not ready or not. If you're not really, truly not ready, then don't get in that position. You know what I'm saying? So Delgado's supposed to fight Arthur Belasanov for the vacant IBF. The Duarte probably be out for the remainder of the year. Tito Mercado, he need to step up. Like he need to step up. He a good fighter, but I feel like his matchmaking is too lackadaisical, and I feel like he should have enough power to say, "I don't want to fight these dudes. Give me something better." And 140 is a solid enough a division where he gonna have to step up, and he calling himself the boogeyman. He gotta pay boogeyman prices, so you can't be lowballing these guys. If you the boogeyman, you gotta pay them triple what they deserve. That's how it works. Adam Azim is probably going down the IBF route. I can see him facing Gabriel Gallus for the vacant, no, for a final eliminator. Uh, to be the mandatory for Landolfo versus Belasanov, because the winner of that fight, you gotta do a mandatory. When you win a vacant title, you gotta do a mandatory right off the rip. Big Dog Willie, what's good? Salute to you, bro. So yeah, it's plenty of fights at 140 that it's still some good guys. So Mercado facing old ass Burgos, that shit does nothing. Like that dude, he didn't step up his competition. Real talk, and it's plenty of guys where he can do that with. Jack Rafferty, number 7, he's at welterweight. Alfredo Santiago, he was number 2. They dropped him all the way down to number 9. That's crazy. Matisse coming off a bad knockout loss. Let's see if he can come back or how long he's gonna be out. Cedeno, that's Henry. He's pretty solid. And the Hirako. So it's good fighters still at 140. It's just I don't know what they got going, but Emiliano potentially gonna be the mandatory for Shakur. I think he probably need one more fight, maybe. He haven't fought nobody in the top 15. So maybe he'll do that. He'll fight one of these guys. He said he want to fight a former world champion. I say fight Sabril Matisse. He's a former champion. He's faded. He's been beat up. He's been stopped. I mean, if he's in position to fight Shakur, he should be cool with fighting anybody else in these rankings. That's how I look at it. 135, Abdullah Mason, WBO champion. He got Albert Bell coming up. That's a late replacement. Interesting fight. Real good fight. They know each other too. No one's talking about Hirako landing in U.S. Yeah, I remember that, and still gave him a good fight. I thought Russell won the fight, but Hirako was on his ass late in that fight. So I scored it like 7-5 for Russell, but he deserved another opportunity. Let's see which way he go. But yeah, that was crazy. Those Japanese fighters got more discipline than us. You know what I'm saying? They cool. That shit ain't nothing to them. He lost because of low blow. Yeah, yeah. I thought it was 7-5 in rounds to me, but I'm with you on that. It was some shit going on in that fight. So Mason and Bell. late replacement fight. They know each other. They're both from Ohio. That's going down 4th of July. TNT, the Zone. We're gonna cover that whole card from top to bottom on Saturday. So we're gonna do a little preview before the fight starts. Joe Cordina is still the mandatory. So the WBO is still gonna grant him that opportunity, even though he couldn't make the fight. They're gonna see how that shit gonna work out if he can fight. If not, they might order Sanchez. I mean, excuse me, Chavez. That's a man. Imagine if Mason get past Bell and he still had to do a mandatory and he do it against Chavez. That's a hell of a fight right there. I like that. We'll see. Williams Zepeda, he got Lamar Roach, vacant WBC. That's August 1st. Sam Noakes, number 4. Um, I like to see him in a better fight. He had a comeback fight, got a win, so let's see what he can do. Joshua Pagan, he's climbing up the ranks. He's with Salida. Yadier Herrera, he like technically he shouldn't even be in the rankings, but maybe they're not recognizing the WBC interim title. He has that title, and he's been quiet for real. Floyd Schofield and Lucas Body, they're gonna fight for the vacant WBA title, left vacant by Tank. You got solid guys. Flores, Tellus. Tellus is always tough. Mark Masayo is gonna fight Andres Cortez. That's Zufa boxing. So yeah, bro. Let me see. 135. We got a big fight coming August 1st, and then on that undercard, Ray Mortala. So those two championship fights on August 1st. Roach versus Cepeda, Mortala versus Cancial. The winners already agreed to unify next. So that's dope. Then Abdullah Mason, he might have to do a mandatory. He might have to fight a mandatory after this. So he's kind of out the mix right there. And then with the WBA, we got Lucas Body and Floyd Schofield. So the division is changing. Shakur, he got stripped. Tank got stripped, for lack of better terms. And now the division is like overhaul. It's resetting. So guys gonna have opportunities to fight for world titles now. Because they wouldn't have got it with the big name fighters. So that's good shit. 130, unified champ, a man with Navarrete. He's in negotiations with Oshaki Foster, rightfully so. That's good. That's the fight. That's a no-brainer fight. Now Charlie Suarez is his mandatory. Suarez is fighting on Pro Box July 18th, and he's supposed to. He want to get a tune-up or stay busy fight, and then fight Navarrete in October, possibly on the Canelo card. We'll see. But Navarrete and Shaki Foster is the fight to be made. That's a good one. It should have been already made, but we'll take it now for 3 belts. So yeah, we'll see. Charlie Suarez, he's fighting on the 18th. Leon Wilson is fighting on the 25th. He got Stephen Fulton. And I think this is a winnable fight for Leon Wilson. Stephen Fulton made it winnable by not being disciplined enough to make the weight. I mean, he missed 130. You know what I'm saying? He looked trash in that fight against Oshaki Foster. Like he just looked underprepared. Leon Wilson can punch, and those Australians kind of fight differently when they fight in their backyard. So that's something to look out for Spence. Them Australians, they fight different out there now, except for Cambosis. He is on some bullshit. So yeah, we'll see. That's coming up July 25th. Wilson and Fulton. Andres Cortez, like I mentioned, him and Maxayo fighting in Azufa. Ray Ford, gotta get Ray Ford back in the mix. Came up short. Look, if this is like any other fighter, like if it wasn't with the bullshit that had Shakur attached to it, and he's a game opponent and he just came up short against a good fighter, Ashaki Foster, nobody be tripping off of it. But since the Shakur is attached to it, now, Ray Ford getting dispersed. You know what I'm saying? They throwing dirt over his name, all types of shit. So he can come back, We'll see. I think he need a new trainer. Get Buddy off his corner. the young dude, get him out the corner, get a veteran trainer that's gonna have him on point. You know, shit, I wouldn't mind seeing him go to running Shields. If he trained and living in Houston, that's the one you want to rock with. Um, Luis Alberto Lopez. I seen something about him. Luis Alberto Lopez is gonna fight on that Pro Box card September the 11th. I ain't see an opponent, but I did see that. I did see his name. Royston Barney Smith just announced he's gonna face Reese Bellotti August the 1st. That's on the whose card is that? Pierce O'Leary versus Mark Chamberlain. They're gonna reschedule that. Look out for one of the Tsunami brothers. They should be back pretty soon. Featherweight Rafael Espinoza. So looking like him and Lorenzo Parra gonna fight. That's the mandatory right there. So yeah, it's been a struggle trying to get unifications at featherweight. Hopefully we get it before one of these guys move up or lose. You know what I'm saying? To lose the luster of, the big fight. So yeah, we'll see. Moto, I think they dropped him. They swapping positions. So maybe Parra got his opportunity. Nakano, I think he's gonna fight an eliminator versus number 5 with the IBF. Liam Davies, he's up in the top 6. Yon Santana, that's top rank. His last fight, I didn't like that. Yeah, I think Aberbell got a chance. He got a chance to win the fight because he can slow the fight down. He's a veteran in the game, real crafty, long and rangy, and he can give Abdullah Mason's trouble if he like patient and kind of. I think if we play the counter punching game, he can have some success because Abdullah Mason gonna try to go for it. So I just hope he fights with a sense of urgency. Yeah, Bell. I just hope he fights with a sense of urgency because this is first and last opportunity. Because the way his style is set up, he may not get another chance. But he did sign with PBC, well, TGB, but that's PBC, right? So Albert Bell is working with Tom Brown, and so that's what's up. So maybe he do get an opportunity after this, and maybe that's why he got this fight because he had somebody come in and help negotiate for him. Let me see. Chop Chop Gonzalez is fighting July the 18th on Pacheco's card. Now he's up and coming. He's one of the better fighters, up and coming guys, prospects, I guess. He's with Robert Garcia. He's nice. One of the best combination punchers in the game right now. Real shit. Chop Chop is like that. He put them things together. So, he's facing Aaron Alameda. That's a solid opponent who been there with some top guys. If he beat him, destroy him, it's time to put Chop Chop in this top 5 or fight somebody in the top 5, top 10 because he can be a future world champion. 22, anyway, is undisputed. He's just sitting back and waiting. He don't got to fight this year, honestly. I think if he do fight, it'd be cool. There's some names that have been floating out there, but I can see him just waiting for Bam at the top of the year. That's what those guys are talking about. So we'll see. He's the only undisputed male champion right now. Excuse me. We see Nakatani number 2. Carl Martin is number 1. So I'm not sure he'll get the anyway fight. Maybe, maybe not. Nakatani gonna be out the ring for a while with an eye injury. Sam Goodman is fighting. Damn, who he fighting? Oh, he's fighting the former champ Nishida for the IBF interim title. So, I mean, anyway, he gonna either. I think this his if he get Bam, he gotta move up. That's it. I think he should move up now. But if he gonna wait for Bam, I can accept it because that's a super fight. But it's gonna come a time when these sanction buyers gonna start coming. So they doing an IBF interim title fight. The IBF don't play around with them interims. Though whoever was the interim champion fought for the title their very next fight. So Boots, Dubois, there's another guy. I forgot. So 2 more, but they fought for the title. So pretty much the winner of Goodman and Nishida, they definitely gonna put pressure on anyway if he's still champ by then. Um, let me see. MJ, I heard he's at featherweight. I heard his name linked with Nick Ball, featherweight. Shabazz Masu, he's in my A, bro. That's crazy. He have good performances. Haven't seen him. Sebastian Hernandez, same thing. He had a good performance against John too, and we ain't heard or seen from him since. Crazy. 118, Christian Medina. He's on the clock. He's gonna fight Baron Rodriguez. Look like in the fall, November, October, November. That's the unification, WBO and WBA unification. So Medina, he signed with Matchroom early in the year. He had a title defense in February against former champ Adrian Curiel. He beat him. So he was signed for the reason to fight Bam. That's the only reason why they signed him, to be honest. They don't promote him, so he just same way when they signed Antonio Vargas, they signed him because Bam needed opponents at 118, and that's what they did. Masuda, he's fighting Higa coming up for the WBA regular. That's July 15th, I believe. Tenshin Nakasawa he's supposed to get his rematch with Tacoma anyway for the WBC title. He did Estrada dirty. Let me see. Who else got something coming? You got some. You got a bunch of former world champions in these rankings. TK, Jason Maloney, Emmanuel Rodriguez. They fought each other in the World Boxing Super Six. No, Super Series. World Boxing Super Series. Number 10, Asui. He got a fight coming up too. I forgot who. Michael Angeletti is the IBF mandatory. So that's cool. If Haney signed, I think Keyshawn going to do him dirty. Going to hurt him. We'll see. He about to it be hoping they working on the clinch game, and they'll be all right. Yeah, they got to work on that clinch game, and then he can outwork Devin. Because Devin only throwing a couple punches around and the jab and shit. And if he hurts you, that's it. Because he ain't really stepping on the gas to get you up out of there. He'll cruise to a decision. I think Keyshawn can win that fight for sure. 115, we got a vacant WBO title. So Kenshiro is gonna fight for that. Kenshiro and Israel Gonzalez is gonna fight for the vacant WBO. That's July 15th as well. So yeah, that division is reset as well because Bam moved up, dropped his three titles, and now those guys gonna fight for it. So that's what's up. Open up the division. Akui, he might fight for a world title too in the WBA. He'll form a champ at 112. So he, campaigning at 15 right now. So yeah. Costa, Elijah Water Costa, he's from Puerto Rico. Not a bad fighter. Scrappy, he's number one in the WBA. He might get an opportunity as well. Get a rematch with the new champ, uh, David Jimenez. Look at Jack Turner. Jack Turner is a big puncher. You know what I'm saying? Number 11, I think he just won an IBF eliminator, the South African fighter. So yeah, I like when these divisions. I like when the top guys when they leave and vacate. I like the divisions after that because now everybody is pretty much it's a lot of parity, 50-50 type shit. Anthony Oscar he was supposed to defend his WBO title against Dominguez, number 13. They were supposed to fight in San Francisco. That shit got canceled. Then they're supposed to move it to Vegas, and they canceled that shit again. They're supposed to fight July 24th, but I'm not sure if it got approved by Vegas. So that's unfortunate, but it's good in a sense because Oscar Waga should be unifying. I think he had 3 or 4 title defenses. He's actually been looking real good, to be honest. So unification makes sense against Yabuki. It makes sense. I don't know if they're gonna make it happen, but it does. And he should be due for a mandatory after those defenses. Yeah, he's number one. It's no surprise though. It's no surprise. He's number one. Um, eventually he'll probably be Shakur's mandatory. Eventually, or he might fight for the vacant title. We don't know how the Zuffa boxing shit gonna work. If Shakur signed with them. How many fights off from a world title? Shoot, one, probably one more. I think he's ready for the opportunity. Him winning, that's another thing. It depends on who he fight. I mean, look, I think it's a smart move. Any fighter that's a champion and signed with Zuffa, there's no guarantee they're gonna keep their title after they did to job attire. So it is a situation where Shakur can vacate that title and then he can fight for a vacant title. You know what I'm saying? Oh, from winning one against Shakur, probably about three more fights. He should fight about two more southpaws. He should fight Frank Martin and Sandor Martin back to back. If I'm being honest, for being Shakur, yeah, winning a vacant title. I'll go back to it real quick. if he fight, let's say Shakur vacates, right? Real quick, educational purpose. Shit, he's not gonna fight Delgado. Delgado fighting for the IBF. Oscar Duarte. I mean, that's a tough fight too. That's more winnable because Duarte gonna be in front of him. If Duarte not ready, Tito Mercado. Now that's a tough fight. Tito Mercado and Amazem, those are tough fights for Emiliano. So, I mean, I guess pick your poison. Hey, he's ready. Whatever he did and his team did to get him to number one, that tells me that they feel confident that they're ready. So make this shit happen. Back to 112. Mesquia is the mandatory for Oscar Wilder. They probably order that shit pretty soon because Buddy ain't had a mandatory in a minute. 108, we got Rene Santiago. He's unified. He got the WBA too. He's been going back and forth to Japan, I think 3 times in a row. So he probably had to go back again to face Kira. Kira, right here, he's number 8. He's the WBA mandatory, and they in negotiations too. So that's what it is. Reggie Singap, he has a title eliminator versus former champ Nasinga coming up in the Philippines. Eric Badilio, he's about to fight for the WBC against Watson. That's a good fight. That's a good fight. That's on July 15th too. We need some US TV for that. Yeah, that's cool. 105, Oscar Collazo, unified. Look like he's in position to fight, have a good fight, a big fight against Ricardo Sandoval, moving up to 112 pounds. If they make that fight, it makes sense on the Ryan Garcia Conor Ben card. You know what I'm saying? That would be dope. And he can kind of live up to that top. I think he's number 9 in the Ring Magazine rankings. I think or 10, one of them. I think Boots dropped him down. But that he need fights like that because 105 pounds. He's not trying to unify the division, come undisputed. Seems like he's avoiding Pedro Torreira, the IBF champ. That fight should have been made already. He taking these voluntaries that we don't really care about, right? He ain't really fought no top competition since he unified with CP Freshmore. He beat some solid guys, but nothing too. He didn't unify, and I think that was available. So if he's not going to unify this division, he don't feel that it's necessary. I take the fight with Sandoval at 112. Sandoval's supposed to fight Ufa. Ufa pulled out, and he may not be available for a while. So yeah, let's do it. Put that on the Ryan Garcia card. I'll take that. He said, "My bad, I'm late." Nah, you good, bro? We good. You good? He's been active. I think for him, if just saying that he would beat Shakur, he needs some of that experience against some good softballs. I mean, I'll answer that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We on that. We on that. So what you think about Bell Mason fight? I don't even know what to expect. I think those guys they know each other, so I think they're gonna be kind of tentative. I think they're gonna be kind of tentative, and I think Mason is gonna be the one that's gonna be the aggressor and try to make the fight. Bell gonna be looking to counterpunch, stand tall and long, and you know, I think that's how it's gonna look, kind of like a distance fight. But I think Mason gonna try to make the fight. The young man got a lot of pressure on him. It's a lot of pressure on both sides because Bell, it's like he ain't never had an opportunity like this, and he got to capitalize on it. Fight with a sense of urgency. But I can see Bell having success with his counter punching and making Mason fall off balance and shit, have to reach for him. But if it's like one of those fights where Mason gonna have to outwork him, I can see that. I can see Mason being behind and actually have to dig it out down the stretch at the back half of the fight. You hear anything about Norman next fight? Nah, nothing. It just, I mean, him. Only thing on him, he moved up to number 2 in the WBO. So if that title becomes vacant, him and Keyshawn fight for the vacant title. It look like, but nah, I haven't heard nothing as far as like fights. You know, he's in a position where he probably won't make a move until he know that like once Keyshawn and Haney get signed, then I think he'll probably make a move. You know what I'm saying? So that's probably the most logical thing. So yeah, that's what it is. The WBO rankings, you know, nothing too crazy. The biggest thing that probably stood out to me, I'm gonna go back to it. A little quick recap. Charles Conwell comes in at number 9, and as you guys remember, ever since when he suffered his first loss, he got removed by all the sanction bodies. And he haven't fought in over a year, right? Now, well, he fought April last year, May, June, July. So 15 months later, they get him a number 9 ranking. So that tells you something. Something is coming up. And like I said, August the 1st on the undercard of Zapata and Roach, he'll likely be on there. So let's see who they give him. You know, if I don't know who they would give him in these the top 15. Maybe Michael Fox. That's an awkward fight right there. Mike Fox is kind of similar to Albert Bell. I think Albert Bell got a little bit more heat on his shots though, but they kind of fight similar, keeping the range, boxing, being smart, making you miss. Mike Fox can box, but he's not like a big puncher like that. But he can kind of make shit awkward, and I can see Bell doing the same shit. So yeah, Conwell should have been on this card right here. To be, if you're being honest, the Cleveland card, but it's okay. I think he from Cleveland, I think. So yeah, so let's see. I would love to see Conwell versus Rashidi Ellis, but Ellis on that Ellis on that TCL shit. And for an undercard, I'm not sure who they'll give him. Maybe one of these guys down here or somebody else. I'm not sure, but it's good to see him at least in the mix, back in the mix. That's cool. And then what else? Ain't nothing else too crazy. So yeah, that's what's up. So we did the WBA yesterday, WBO today. I think next is probably the WBC or the one of the both of them are gonna come out around the same time. A lot of sometimes if it's like a big fight that weekend, sometimes the sanction bodies will wait until after the results, then they'll post their rankings. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see if they do that. The IBF, they got something popping this week. I don't know. The WC does because Shushu is defending his WC title. So yeah, good shit. So we'll be back. Once one of those rankings drop, we'll be right back to cover them. Look out for Saturday, probably like early afternoon. We're going to do the preview of Bell versus Mason. Then we'll cover everything from top to bottom, all the fights, predictions, breakdowns, what to watch. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk about the Mason Five, and they got two guys. They got two of the brothers on the undercard on the prelims. We're gonna review. Oh, well, we're gonna preview that and talk about it. Salute to everybody coming through the building, though, for sure. Um, is it a sure thing? No, it's not. I don't think it's a sure thing now. I think it's they working out the details. The money is the biggest thing right there. Um, we'll see. It looked like it shouldn't be an issue because this should be a Ring magazine card. And so where they gonna put it at? That's a big question. Or will it land on like Ryan Garcia kind of band card? Will it be his own card? Will they have to go to Saudi? I think that's the thing they're figuring out. It could be a thing where Top Rank be like, shit, we'll put the fight on. Remember, Top Rank won the purse bid before for Sandor Martin. So maybe they like, you know what, we want to take this to Norfolk. If they bring this fight to Norfolk, that shit gonna break all type of records. You know what I'm saying? Because they definitely gonna sell it out. This is not a big fight like that. You know what I'm saying? It's not a big fight commercially. It's a big fight like for us, and we talk about it and whatever, and we like it. But the numbers, like, it probably won't do well in Vegas. So we'll see, man. Whatever. I think it's a possibility that they definitely will fight because Devin he lose some leverage a little bit without that title. You know, this shit's interesting because they said he had $100 million deal, right? Didn't they say that? So I feel like this fight should be easy to be made. It should be a sure thing. If he got $100 million, he should be able to like, okay, we got enough money to pay. If whoever is paying him $100 million over a stretch over a couple of fights, they should be cool with you know what I'm saying, paying their opponent what they want. But at this stage, I don't think Devin or Keyshawn are gonna sell it for no chump change. You know what I'm saying? I think they're gonna want to, make the biggest bag as possible. He put himself in a bad position. Um, I mean, I feel like he just reason why he don't fight that much because he waiting for the biggest bag. That's what it is. So you don't think he'll go to Vegas? Nah, I don't. It could. I'm not saying I'm eliminating that possibility, but I don't think it's a big fight like that. I don't think it's a fight like that for Vegas. Put that shit in Atlanta because if it's, I can see Atlanta would be cool. You know what I'm saying? Because when you go to Vegas, it's more so like you gotta have the different fan base. You gotta have the essays and you gotta have the bros in there, right? If you put two bros on the same, fighting each other in Vegas, the demographic don't hit like that. You need different, right? But in not LA, in their hometowns, Oakland and Norfolk, respectfully, I think that it would hit. And in Atlanta, that's a black city. You know what I'm saying? And it probably hit there too. So yeah, he overplayed his hand. I mean, I thought he should have took the Rolly fight. I didn't like how they did that. They smeared Rolly's name for a couple of years, called him a duck, everything under the sun. But once the opportunity was presented to him to fight, damn, they didn't want to do it. I mean, and I'm like this. Why not counter offer since y'all promoters and shit? 100. Yeah, I think it is too because it won't be that hard to make these fights. Yeah, yeah, that'd be cool. DC, they don't really get big fights, and the fans from Norfolk can travel to DC. Yeah, that might be a cool spot too. Yeah, Black City. Roller, yeah, he should have took that fight. But that's what it is. Like, yeah, I didn't like that one right there though because they was doing Rolly dirty in the media. They was going on the campaign, calling him all types of ducks. And Rolly was like, all right, Rolly proved that he's A side. If that counts anymore, I don't think it even matter no more. I guess for certain talking points. But Rolly sent the offer. He said it was cool, looked like the money looked good, and then they turned it down when I guess they realized they got to eat what they kill or whatever, however that should go, kill what they eat, and they ain't want to do it. So we're moving on. So the Keyshawn fight seems like it should be easy to be made because Keyshawn is with Ring Magazine. He's one of the ambassadors, so it makes sense for that. And that's still like in the realm of what Turkey be. Devin fought on what a Ring Magazine card. His last two fights is with Turkey, basically. So I'm thinking it should be easy to be made, but I think it'll probably go into the fall. And this fight, look, people say this fight should be in the U.S., but shit, I don't know if these guys big enough yet. Even Devin Haney, he's not like Devin get a lot of traction, and he's in the algorithm and shit like that. As far as like YouTube and social media, and boxing, Twitter, and all that, but it's proof that he's not in the business to kind of doing his own events or taking a gamble on himself. He'd rather just get paid up front and he'll fight anywhere. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even care if I don't even know if he care if he's a draw. His name gonna always ring out because he got people riding for him and pushing narratives for him and jumping out the window no matter what. You know what I'm saying? So he basically he don't care. Because certain people gonna keep his name in a good light, no matter what he do or don't do. Bill talk a little bit too much sometimes. Yeah, that shit. Oh, we see people still fall for that shit though. People fall, and what he's doing is just getting the other team out of their rhythm. That's why. Look, if I'm going against them, I'm telling them dudes, the other dudes, I won't even give them a microphone. Look, his coaches, Keyshawn's coaches, don't do no interviews, bro. Just work. Let's work. Don't get tied into that shit. Look what happened to Brian Norman. Brian Norman Sr. It's like he was worried about Bill more than he worried about getting his son prepared. You know what I'm saying? Like all those fighters I seen train in Saudi, I ain't never seen a fighter in the damn parking garage training. I mean, I see those dudes in high tech gyms, a Mike Tyson gym, all type of shit, but they out there in the damn parking lot. Like that shit's weird to me. I mean, I guess it is what it is, but I feel like you at a certain level making a certain amount of bread, man, you should be doing your jump roping session inside the gym. You know what I'm saying? Them dudes, I and Bill got them. He got Norman wrapped around his finger. Norman Jr. I mean not Norman Jr. but Norman Senior. So he wasn't. He didn't have his son prepared. That's how I saw it. So I'm telling Keyshawn, like his coach, Dorsett, bro, get off the internet, bro. That's it. Nah, facts. Yeah, because they gonna have that big dude, the big bodyguard. You know what I'm saying? Because Devin gonna be doing some kind of some lame ass shit, but then they end up looking like the ones on top because people are riding for it. I'm telling you, you don't have to fall for that shit. I like Bill. Yeah, he is funny. You can always tell he has a plan when he speaks. Yeah, let Keyshawn. Well, he Keyshawn and Bill can sell the fight. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they can keep the mic from Devin too. Just let they shouldn't even do the Devin and Keyshawn face off. Do Devin and Bill. That's more entertaining because Devin is boring as hell too. He just repeat 2007 Floyd Mayweather quotes from 24/7. So we could on that. I think we've seen enough of that. Keyshawn is a crash out, so you don't know where he coming from. And Bill got that slick talking shit. So let them do the talking. And yeah, they can eliminate Devin from talking. That's cool. We heard what we gonna hear. And Keyshawn's coaches, we good on y'all. Dorsett, yeah, this you good, you good. Yeah, we cool. Wait, no, they was training, but they did some they was in the parking garage doing like jump rope and mitts and shit. They weren't inside the gym, the facilities they had. I don't know if that was some shit that that they just chose to do. Cause some shit sometimes you just okay, fuck it, we're gonna get out, we're gonna get away from the bullshit. Maybe that was the case. But all the guys I seen train over there, they in some nice ass facilities. Like they don't got one for nothing. Parking lot, yeah. And I don't think they was like in the garage. It didn't look like they was outside. But maybe it was hot over there. You never know. You're right. Of course, I want. I mean, I want him to do well, but I'm picking Devin. Earlier I got Devin because he got the better corner. That's why I'm picking him. But I'm gonna say this: he can't. He gonna have to have a better output. He can't be landing 70 punches in this fight, 40 punches and grabbing and holding. Keyshawn is an aggressive guy, and he's gonna make him work for that shit. So I don't think that's gonna work this time. Maybe it do, but that hugging and grabbing and that John we like honestly, Devin got skills and all that shit, but he fight like he trying to milk the clock, like he running four corner offense or something. He don't have to. He dropped Brian Norman and then he coasted. The first half of the fight, he dominated that fight. The second half was a Norman half. You know what I'm saying? I thought Norman won shit, maybe four out of the 6 rounds or whatever it was. I scored 7-5. So basically, he knocked him down and just cruised to a decision where he could have made it more dominant. He didn't make the fight more dominant. So Keyshawn is a type of guy that's, a little bit more dynamic in his approach. And I think if he got a lot of bad intentions and he's smarter than what he get credit for. He could have some success, but I see a lot of fucking wrestling in this fight. I do. Because Devin feel like he's under attack and uncomfortable, he holding. You know what I'm saying? He ain't really like letting his hands go. He's gonna hold. Do you think Dev Duck Tank? I don't think so. I don't think you can. I don't think these fighters. If you're the B side, you're not in a position to duck your highest payday. The way these guys are set up. So I'm gonna say no. Always believe the guy that's the cash cow. He can make any fight he want to make. You know what I'm saying? Prime example. We haven't heard this much social media shit from Tank in forever, right? And he automatically taking fights from other people, right? Or he can, first it was going to be Shakur and Haney. Now he made it seem like it's going to be him and Haney. You know what I'm saying? The A side guy, the cash cow, is always in position to make the fight. Look at Earl Spence. See Earl Spence. You know what I'm saying? Devin could stop. He could have stopped Brian Norman and Regis. Yeah, he beat up Regis. I don't think he beat up Norman. I mean, his eye was fucked up. That shit was some headbutts and shit. But he didn't beat him up. He dropped him and cruised. That's all he did. He got a big lead and sat on it. He said knockdown of the year. I mean, he put all that into that celebration and he couldn't finish it off. 7-5 with the knockdown. So that means no, I had a 7-5 for Haney in rounds. So 115, 112 was my scorecard. Um, so yeah, I didn't think Norman actually won the fight, but I didn't think he got washed. I didn't see 9 rounds to 3. I didn't see 10-2. I saw 7-5. Devin was he was cruising. He said cool. Yeah, I ain't see all that shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't think and I think Devin is probably he's better than that, I think. I thought he could have probably he could have did way more in that back half, but he he got the lead. So Devin is like kind of like how Keith Thurman is. Those guys know how to win 7 rounds. And they know how to kind of finesse their way to a decision win. That's just how they do. Um, some people like that style. I'm cool on it. I'm cool on that shit. I like boxer punchers that's gonna try to take it. You know what I'm saying? I love how Boots fight because Boots he's trying to break your ass. It ain't nothing like that trying to break dude. He can do all that slick shit too. So it depends on what you like, but I ain't gonna say I don't think Devin all that good, but I don't like that clinching shit, grabbing and clinching and all that. Like I don't think he have to do that. I think he's skilled enough where he don't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? They said Norman didn't get washed after the knockdown. He was shell shocked. Yeah, I think yeah, maybe he underestimated a little bit. Got caught with some. He fight Abdullah, yeah, he does. Him and Boots is pretty similar in that aspect where they're aggressive from the opening bell and they don't need no fill out rounds. You know what I'm saying? This guy be careful. Abdullah Mason had a tough ass fight, bro. His fight that fight was tough as shit against Sam Notes. You know what I'm saying? So him coming back, in July, is probably was good for his body because he took a lot of punishment. I thought and unnecessary. So him and Boots, yeah, they like in the same type of category when I think of like guys that's ultra talented and got a lot of offensive talent, but they get hit. They probably shouldn't get hit with a lot of shit because I feel like if you're that talented, then you can be talented on defense too. But then on the other hand, they're making it fun and entertaining for the fans. Like Boots and Xander was fun. That's my analogy of it. That shit was fun because that third round was crazy and nobody was really expecting that. But then Boots got right back to it. Mason is like that too. Mason get hit, get hurt, get back up. He proved that he can do that. And then he dig deep in that Sam Noakes fight, and he was Sam Noakes. Salute to him because he was taking some shit, and he stood up to that. Um, but he got a tricky fight on Saturday with Albert Bell. Albert Bell is tricky. This Albert Bell's time. You know what I'm saying? He haven't been getting the big opportunities. I haven't had the big opportunities, and I feel like he been done dirty by the politics of boxing. Yeah, that's true. And so that's why like when people say, well, they think they hating on Boots and hating on these fighters that fight like that, but you gotta think as you step up in competition, you might get hit with something and then that's it. I mean, like right now, like Fundora is in his prime right now. So if he clipped Boots with an uppercut from across the ring, it might be different. Same thing with Virgil. So that's why people are saying that. Not to say that they're gonna beat him because I think Boots is still he still brings something to the table that they have to figure out too. We wishing on a star, wishing they land a solid shot and hurt them, and then get them up out of there. But Boots can beat you in different ways. You know what I'm saying? When you think Rohan Polanco, man, I don't know. What you think about his last performance though? I ain't like it against Alice Martin. I ain't like it. I think just be realistic. He'll probably get a shot. He might get like one more. I want to say probably he'll probably get one in 2017. They have to because they got him in these rankings and shit, climbing up the rankings. Um, it showed me a lot what they think about him because his last fight they even broadcasted or promoted it or none of that shit. Like why he couldn't get on that Norfolk card or why he couldn't get on the August 1st card, or you know what I'm saying? He could even got on the Xander Boost card, being as in New York, he's Dominican. So I don't know where top rank stands. That tells me a lot. Because look what Tiger's at. He's basically he having a homecoming fight. He was on Pro Box, beat that kid. You know what I'm saying? It seemed like Tiger got more of the spotlight now than Rohan Polanco. So maybe next year keep winning. Maybe they do Polanco versus Tiger Johnson next after this. He said Mason. I can see that. My keys. I want to see Aberbell fight with a sense of urgency. Know where you at, and I know they. I know he know where he at. I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. Like he's the B side fighter. He's the guy that his margin of error is very slim. You know what I'm saying? Like your defense might be tight, but if you're along the ropes, then you giving the judges and you giving the benefit of the doubt to Mason. He may catch all that shit, but just the optics of it, they might give it to him. So, um, I think he too much power hungry. I like to see him get away from that Philly shell some and kind of get to the part where he's just touching the guy. But when he's doing that Philly shell, he's trying to get close and land hard shots. Um, I think he kind of I don't know. I think probably the biggest thing is maybe running numbers instead of just trying everything being power, because power is easier to read. But he's good though. He got a Polanco has a kind of a menacing presence when he's in the ring. So if guys that don't have experience and haven't really been through that, they probably feel a certain type of way because sometimes his presence can overwhelm these guys. But as he step up, that shit won't be ain't gonna be nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I think get out that shoulder roll and some instance and actually run the numbers. And everything don't have to be hard shots. I think Calderon turned down Polanco according to his trainer. Shoot, maybe. It's a lot of these guys be turning down shit. You know, that'd be a solid fight. I mean, Calderon is very tricky. He don't have the most fan friendly style either, but he can trick you out of your position because he always has the appearance like he's being aggressive, but he's really trying to counterpunch. So now you gotta be on guard because this guy is like coming forward with an aggressive tone or aggressive mannerisms, but he really trying to counterpunch. That's how he be scoring them knockdowns, bro. Because Calderon is a natural counterpuncher and not really a big puncher, but he got enough power to kind of get your attention. And he scored knockdowns in basically all his fights because of that. So he's very tricky and he understands. So yeah, that'll be a good fight though. He said he want to stay busy. Maybe I mean, shit. Why not? If Polanco is in a position to fight him, then yeah, they should make it. You know what I'm saying? But Calderon always been like second fiddle type shit. You know, he when he got his opportunity though, he did capitalize on it. But I remember him waiting for that to get the winner between Josh Taylor and Jose Ramirez. He took step aside. He waited patiently for that shit, and then when he got his opportunity, I mean, I thought he beat Josh Taylor in the first fight. That Barbosa fight though. Now he kind of got out tricked in that fight. That shit didn't work. That he was trying to do that, being aggressive but trying to counterpunch. He got old ass 1900 style. I like seeing him do his thing. Very unique. Yeah, he's good. He's solid. He's a tough fight. He's the type of guy that can give. He'll give all these guys some problems. All of them. He's tough too. He got a solid chin. He been down before, but Jack Cameron is just he's just not like he's not like like out there in the social media shit. Like his shit's kind of like come off as boring or come off as like uninterested. Like it's like man, nobody trying to hit this dude talk type shit, but he can fight though. He can fight. Maybe he stay busy. Like shoot, I wouldn't mind a fight with Coriel. It's some man. Look, welterweight is actually a good division. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of good fights out there in 50-50. You know, 50-50 type shit. And that's what happens when the top guy lead the division. He opened it up. So if Boots would have stayed at 147, a lot of these guys in these rankings and shit, they want to got an opportunity to fight Boots. These top guys can only fight one fight at a time. And normally it's the biggest fight. And a lot of these guys in these rankings don't fall into that mix. So, it should be cool. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's why all these guys can mix and match and fight each other. Some good fights can happen. So yeah, if the top guys, it's like that at heavyweight right now. We're gonna see these guys kind of, fight for position, to fight for a vacant title or fight for a eliminator so they can get the winner. That type shit. In Bam's old division, since he moved up, it's the same shit. It's scattering around. What's up with Karen? I'm very interested in seeing a matchup with him. Man, Karen had a trash performance his last fight. You see that? He fought Patty Donovan for the IBF final eliminator. Got dropped twice. That fight he got beat easy. Something like 118 to 1 night to one. No, he got dropped twice. So 118 to like 108. He looked bad, bro. And I don't know what happened. Maybe it was the style, but yep. So maybe he can maybe I mean not saying he can't get back in the mix because this is boxing at the end of the day. So with the right team, you can be right back in the mix. But that was a tough fight, bro. I mean, it ain't really taking like crazy amount of punishment, but he didn't look like he didn't look all that. Where does Dos Santos go from here? I'm thinking, yeah, that's tough, because I guess he can move up to 40, I guess. But that was a bad knockout. Whether it get overturned or not, it's ingrained in our mind what happened. We ain't forgot. And I think that those are type of knockouts that diminish you. Definitely the lifestyle diminish you, the inactivity. So he got a lot of shit going on, injuries, all that shit. And then he just got faded. So it's like I don't know. Like I said, I think the other fighters that sign up to fight De Los Santos now from here on out, they probably licking their chops. That boogeyman shit, I don't believe in it, but if he was the boogeyman, he ain't no more. So yeah, bro, he needs some time off. Not I mean, if he feel good, I don't think he should take like the rest of the year, maybe get one more in before he leave. But that was a bad knockout. Because if they overturn it, it's not like Ryo going to give him the opportunity to say let's run it back. If he even if he does, he'd be more of a favorite to do it again because Dos Santos' head still sticking straight up in the air. That's why he get caught and clipped with those shots. So yeah, bro, that was a tough one. I wasn't even aware. Yeah, bro, they fought on the zone. I think they fought in May. Yeah, Patty Donovan took him to school, bro. He took Karen to school. Patty Donovan is a big welterweight, and he was sitting down on his shots, scored a couple knockdowns. He was just a step ahead of Karen in that fight and was out boxing him. You know, so yeah, bro. But not to say he can't get back in the mix. I'm just saying that performance was dumb. But yeah, and salute to everybody coming through the building. That's my time. We'll be back probably tomorrow. Whenever these rankings drop, we'll be back. And then on Saturday, before the fight start, we're gonna do a preview and walk. We're gonna walk through the card and talk about it, give our breakdowns and predictions. Abdullah Mason versus Albert Bell, Shushu Carrington versus Palacios, Tiger Johnson versus Guerrero, and then we got the Mason The Mason brothers on the undercard. Oh, Scooter Davis too. We're gonna touch on him. Yes, sir. Salute, Big Dog. We appreciate it. Salute to everybody coming through. That's my time, and I'm out.